Hello, fellow conspiracy theorists across time and space. This is Joseph Armstrong. Just wanted to make a really quick video, and I'm gonna make another video about this eventually that will get into more detail and try to hone this down a little bit more. But I was thinking about I'm trying to make a timeline of high points. It's like an oversimplified Bible history, and stuff that I think of when I think of the Bible version conspiracy. And one of the things that came to my mind was how in the 1800s there seemed to be this revival of, um, well, of course, there was the occult revival in England, and there were a lot of manuscripts that came to the forefront that um, gave us the text that underlies modern versions. Basically 9 verses shorter, and also depending on the last 12 verses of Mark and such like this. But one thing that was actually mentioned in the New Order of Barbarians, if you guys watch that, it's on my channel. The full set is 4 hours long. I wouldn't necessarily recommend listening to all of that in one sitting. But I do also have it broken into tapes. It blows your mind listening to this. It's from the I believe it's from the 80s, and it's just like everything that we see today. And one of the things that's mentioned in there is Lawrence Donegan is he's basically going from memory, thinking about I guess you could say reminiscing what he remembers from a speech given by a guy named Dr. Richard Day, and he was part of what was called the Order. And he's talking to these medical professionals in this meeting, and he's basically like, "Guys, there's a new world order. We are setting it up. Um, it, don't take notes. I'm not going to answer any questions, stuff like this." And he said, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say all of this as dogmatically as I can, but right now, nobody can stop this. One of the things that was mentioned in there was the idea of earthquakes that would reveal basically texts, documents that would fundamentally change the religions of the world, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and would help to bring them around into the New World Order and the new religion that was going to be started as part of this New World Order. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, okay, I can see like the Nag Hammadi and different things like this. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, how long have they been using this tactic? With all of the manuscripts that came to light, and just how the New Testament got altered at the time of the Revised Version. Was this part of that, just not as advanced, starting on Christianity at that point in time? I'm positive that this agenda was around at that point. It's obviously been in the making for a long time, and these mystery religion type groups like the Illuminati and stuff like this have been around for a very long time. Why would it be such a surprise for 100 years ago, these manuscripts popping up due to their influence, especially like Fritz Springmeier mentions? I mentioned him in a couple of videos ago, and he says that the religion of the Illuminati is Gnosticism, and we see so many Gnostic readings in the New Greek New Testament. Gnostic type readings. We see the early church fathers talking about how the Gnostics would pervert scripture and stuff like this, which I still have to dig into that a little bit more and specify exactly what they meant by scripture. I'm aware of these things, but that's for future videos. And just as a side note, it's really sad to me to see how people like Dan Wallace will argue for the legitimacy of the New Testament and say, hey, it's like the best supported it's the best supported ancient document that we have is the New Testament. It has so many witnesses. It's got the church fathers that we can basically reproduce the text of the New Testament based on their quotations they made in their books that exist today. But how much do they actually regard their quotations? Do they actually go with the readings that the church fathers had in their Bibles that are 1st and 2nd century and quotations that they made of Scripture? If they did, they would read a lot more along with the King James, because the 1st and 2nd church fathers, to my understanding, were predominantly Textus Receptus King James Bible type quotations of Scripture. But no, they'd rather go with papyrus that are dug out of Egypt, which was the hotbed of Jewish Gnosticism and Christian Gnosticism. And they would rather go with questionable texts like Sinaiticus, which is more than likely an 18th century document that was meant as a gift to the Tsar of Russia in return for Simonides' uncle getting a printing press. And apparently Sinaiticus was a working copy of what Simonides was working on. Tischendorf stumbles upon it, and there's a huge controversy, and today we have modern Bibles changed so much based on this one manuscript and its agreement with the Vatican version. And if you guys read Ken Johnson's book, I'm sorry I'm going a little bit fast here. If you read Ken Johnson's book on the Gnostic origins of Roman Catholicism, you guys will see a little bit more of how Catholicism, most of its doctrines that are peculiar to it that are different from Protestant Christianity, are actually Gnostic doctrines. And when we talk about Gnosticism, in my mind, that is synonymous with the pre-flood mystery religion that actually incurred God's wrath on that first world that Noah was a part of. Guys, there's a lot going on. I'll hone these things down in future videos. I just wanted to get this out there. You see, this is kind of on the fly. But anyways, if you guys, and these posters and things, I finally figured out how to do posters on Spreadshirt.com. You guys can check out a link that I'll provide down in the description. There's a beautiful one that I made like last year sometime, and finally got it on there. There's the shirts and hats and stuff like that. We finally sold our first shirt. We made $5, and I was just like, wow, this is great. Because then it might seem like, oh, you're gonna pay off your car with $5, but it's exciting to see that there's potential there. It's like, it's like a dike, like, the proverbial the legendary kid that kept his finger in the dike. That water that's coming out of there is proof that it's possible and that there's more water to be had. And it's exciting to think of actually doing this full time. The next day, we actually sold 4 more pieces of apparel, 2 hats and 2 shirts. And I was just like, we made $23. It was great. We are tight on funds. If you guys want to make a one-time donation, I'll put a link down for that. But yeah, we're tight. We're struggling. We've got 3 young kids, and we're doing what we can, and anything that you guys could give to show your appreciation for what we're trying to make possible here would be appreciated. Anyways, have a great day, and don't forget to read your King James Bible like the devil's after it, because he actually is, and it is a Bible version conspiracy. Have a great day.